welcome to Soul Symbols. My name is Shelley. I'm a writer, an astrologer, and a card reader, and I'd like to welcome you to my channel. Happy Saturday. It is the weekly energy card reading. If you are in North America, I also want to wish you a happy 4th of July. I actually went with cards and stones that are kind of red, white, and blue, so we'll get into that in a minute. This video is a video that I post weekly where you, the viewer, will go through and choose a tarot deck that calls to you. Once you choose your deck, I'll go ahead and do a brief spread to see how the energies resonate for the next 7 days. I just basically read the cards, and in the pictures in the cards, I discerned what a general kind of theme would be. I like to think of card reading just like, interpreting a dream. And we have a saying in card reading, which is take what resonates and leave the rest. If you feel like what you're seeing in your card read is not really resonating, please feel free to choose a different pile, or possibly choose a different video. It does not have to be the week of July 4th through the 11th in order for the messages to resonate. If you do see another video on my channel or with any reader here on YouTube, you're welcome to check that out, and there might be a message contained for you. So we have 3 decks this week, and to add to it, I'm going to go ahead and pull out my conversation dice. It's a series, it's a group of dice that has keywords on it. It's really meant to be a game of learning, having a conversation. But I've noticed it's so nice whenever I'm pulling cards to kind of pull out an additional kind of keyword or some kind of theme. So the first deck that we have is the Tattoo Tarot, and with it we have a red volcano quartz. The second deck is the Tried and True Morgan Greer. This is actually a special deck. It's one that it's the very first tarot deck that I formally learned on. It's my second deck ever buying, but my first deck ever learning. And then with it, I have a piece of sea glass, and so that's we've got red, white, and then the last deck we have the Linestrider Tarot by Siolo Thompson, and with it we have a piece of blue quartz. It's kind of hard to see in the light, but it is blue. But I'll go ahead and let you choose your deck. If you need more time, please pause the video. I do ask that you just choose from your intuition if you like the deck, the artwork, or the stone. And I'll see you in a minute. Okay, we're back. So let me go ahead and we'll move this up so we have more room. And we're going to start with the Tattoo Tarot. And all of the names of the decks and the authors are in the description box below. I'm going to go ahead and open up. I make all of the card bags and dice bags that I use, so this is just a bag that I created. So let's go ahead and see deck number 1. Ooh. I'm kind of drawn to this. This card got left behind. I'm going to go ahead and keep it out if that's okay. Beginning of your week. Okay, middle of the week. The middle of, oh my gosh. I'm going to go ahead and just take that as the middle of the week. I really think. And then the end of the week, please. Do we have a flipper? Yeah. Alright, this card was kind of flipped over. End of the week, please. Wow, gosh, guys. We got like 2 aces. And 2 8s. Alright, so let's go ahead and get your dice. We'll get 2 dice. How does that sound? Okay. Wow. I also take into consideration with these dice, I take into consideration on how they fall, almost like the way that cards can be seen in the reverse. I kind of read the dice in the reverse. So, wow, guys. So, the beginning of the week, you got the Two of Wands. And the Two of Wands is that card about having a choice, right? And what I like about this deck is that the Tattoo Tarot is what we call a pip deck. It means that the minor images don't really have a story the way that Rider-Waite-Smith does. The images still do have symbols. Like I like the fact that it'll have things like roses or and in this deck it's really kind of neat because the two wands cross one another, but on either end it looks like there's a crown, right? And on the sides, I kind of look at this like it's a brick wall. And when you read cards, whether for yourself or for other people, I always think that whatever your first impression is, like when you look at the card and you just kind of get a sense of, again, just like as if you were interpreting a dream. Um, the Two of Wands is about planning and it's about a choice. A lot of times it's usually about, the Ace of Wands is kind of a fresh start at something, and the Two of Wands is almost as if you've already started one thing and now you're expanding and there's a second option. It's almost like you've completed one task and now a second option is presenting itself that looks like it would bring you a lot of happiness. So it's basically about a choice. It's kind of planning and it's deciding what direction you're going to go. And the wands are always very strong energy cards. So when you see the Two of Wands, it's about a choice that you're real animated about. Like it's almost as if kind of like having a choice between two really good options, right? It's almost like saying, okay, oh, you have to move. Okay, do you want to move to California or do you want to move to Hawaii? Both options are great. And that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting here is because when I see the two wands, one of the wand does not both of the wands look like viable options. I think with the brick wall, I think both of these choices, both paths would give you stability. They'd give you like a foundation. I'm thinking like a brick wall. Because what I'm seeing is I'm not seeing a brick wall in like a blocking sense. I'm almost seeing it as like the foundations of something very steady. And what I kind of see here is these two things at the bottom of the top, they both look like crowns, right? They look like the crown of a king. And what I'm kind of sensing is that I think that you have a choice. And I think what you're doing is at the beginning of the week, you're kind of planning and you're deciding what direction you're going to go. But both options would give you a very stable and steady path, right? If you choose one option, again, I really get the sense that the nice thing is about it. The nice thing about this Two of Wands is I really get the sense that whatever decision you make, you can't lose, is what I'm thinking. Whatever choice you make, you'll feel like a king or a queen. Whatever choice you make, you'll have a very steady, and I almost see also the brick is like paving a road. Like whatever decision you make, it would be moving forward, right? It would be a path for you to follow that would, I think, make you happy. But I'm getting a real strong planning vibe. I do kind of get the sense that this type of planning isn't a heavy decision. Like I don't see this as being a decision between two jobs or, a decision between, I don't think it's a hard decision, but I think this is more of a kind of a happy decision. Just like we said, do you move to California? Do you move to Hawaii? I think it's almost like you're getting all excited because you have a choice of, okay, do you want to go this way? And then you would have A, B, C, D, or you could go this way and you'd have, D, E, F, G. And both of options, either way you go, would really make you happy and really, thrill you. It's almost like you would be a king in one way or a king in another. And it's just really up to you which way you go, right? Sometimes that can be a decision. It can be a decision that's a creative decision. Like it could be you making a choice. Could could be you making a choice between houses, or it could be you making a choice between creative endeavors. I'm almost getting a vibe like if you are, if you're doing some kind of home improvement, it's almost like, oh, okay, do I choose the wood grain cabinets or do I go with the marble? It's kind of like that. Both choices are really opulent. Both choices would look fantastic, but you get to choose, and that's what's making you feel like, wow, just like you're regal in what you get to do. Now, by the middle of the week, this is really neat, and this was the card that was kind of popping out. It was kind of coming out. I'm using it as a middle of the week because it was kind of coming out as the overall theme of your energy. And you got the Ace of Wands. You got the Ace, and the Ace is that really beautiful. It's a very energetic endeavor, and underneath it, the Hierophant wanted to pop out. So I do think that whatever decision that you're making at the beginning of the week, I think you will decide. You're going to choose one of those rods. And the other thing is, I am getting a little bit, honestly, I am getting a little bit of, I'm getting a little bit of an anointed kind of vibe, and I know that sounds weird. The Hierophant is, he represents the status quo, he represents beliefs. He represents following the paved path, so to speak, right? I am kind of getting, and in this depiction, in the Rider-Waite-Smith, he has followers, like you always see the two acolytes underneath. But you know what the vibe I'm getting? This might very well be a work thing, because by the end of the week, we're getting into Pentacle energy. Either that, or it's you within your structure of beliefs, and this can be, again, it being the status quo, it can be work, it can be in your social structure. So this could be family, it can be work, it can be this could be some kind of group that you volunteer for, but you had some kind of choices. I am almost getting kind of a work vibe. It's almost like when your boss calls you in and says, okay, you've done a good job, you're getting a promotion, but do you want this position over here where you're going to be doing this and you'll get these benefits, or do you want to go over to this division and you'd be getting these perks and this, this is what you would be doing. It's almost like you're excited about both prospects and you're deciding which way you want to go and what you want to do. The other thing about the Two of Wands is that it really does kind of change your life sometimes. Sometimes by choosing the one wand, maybe you're saying, okay, I'm going to move to take that position, right? But it's still a boon. It's still like really exciting. Like it's something that would give you the world, right? And by the middle of the week, you're choosing a wand. You see how in the beginning of the week, the wands are just like, okay, which one do I want? Which one do I want? By the middle of the week, you're reaching out and grabbing the one that you want. And you see the wands look exactly the same. It doesn't tell you which one you chose. You'll know by the middle of the week which one you chose. And then it's almost like there's some kind of ceremony, saying, okay, here you go. This is the one that you chose. And the other thing that I'm getting, I'm also getting kind of like a high honors kind of thing. You're somehow, by you choosing the wand, that comes with a little bit of recognition, either that, or I feel like you look really good within your belief system. Again, maybe by taking the wand and following that choice, you really look good in the eyes of your peers, your family, or the community. I'm getting a community. There's some kind of community here. And the community is based on what you believe. It doesn't have to be religious beliefs. But by you choosing that path, it's going to be, I'm always seeing it like the scepter of a queen when she goes through her coronation. That's what I'm kind of seeing. It's almost, and that happens in a church, by the way. When I'm thinking of when a king or queen holds the wand, and then they have the sphere, the ball is put into their other hand. And it's interesting, the Two of Wands in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, they have a globe in their hand too. I really think that you're graduating to something. And this by taking this wand, and you'll know by the middle of the week, you know the direction you want to go in. And this direction you're choosing and the choice that you chose is very accepted by your community group. And it's almost like you're praised. It's almost like you're celebrated for having chosen that wand, if that makes any sense. And you're going to be feeling that by the middle of the week. Now, the other thing is, this is over the weekend. The beginning of the week starts over the 4th of July weekend. So it is possible that maybe as you're hanging out with friends and family, and here in North America, we are still adhering to social distancing. So any parties we go to, we're trying to keep it, contained. But I think that if anything, maybe over the weekend while you're hanging out or communicating with friends or family, if you're doing that over the holiday, you might be talking about your options. And then by next week, when you actually get back to work or get back to school or get back to your community, you get to announce, either that or the other thing about wands is that you're taking action. So it's a lot of show, not tell. That's the other thing, is that if you are planning something, it's almost as if you're, the way that you choose or the way that you declare that you've made your choice is by going ahead and going and doing that choice. You see, if that makes sense. It's not like, you say, oh, okay, I have the 2 jobs. Let me tell you. This isn't telling me. It's like, let me show you. Okay, let me show you what I chose. And then you go ahead and you go for it, and then everyone around you is like, yeah, way to go. It's almost like you're getting the other thing is that the choice that you make is really going to reaffirm your position in this community, in this status quo. Now, by the end of the week, this is really quite interesting. We go from a lot of fire energy. And the other thing is the Hierophant is a major arcana. This is a very, this wand, this new start that you're making is really, it's almost like a new chapter within a story that you've had for a long time. Again, the Hierophant is about beliefs, and it's, that's your community. That can be your church group. It can be your family. It can be what your family believes. You're starting a new course that is very rewarding, but your community approves. Like it's socially accepted. There we go. Sorry, it took me a while. Now, by the end of the week, you got yet another ace. So, wow, guys, you're really starting a new chapter. And again, it doesn't mean that all of this is coming out of the blue, in 1 week. These are all events that the gears have been turning, and you're just really starting these new events. You're putting the action, and with the Ace of Coins, by the end of the week, you're really putting the physical into it. So by the end of the week, you got the Ace of Coins. And we have a tarot on the Ace of Coins not too long ago. Now, what I think is kind of interesting is that there's a bird in this image, and it's a peacock, right? And if you just notice, with the Ace of Wands, you had 2 roses, right? And with the 2 of Wands, you had two roses. Now you have 1 wand and 1 coin. And the coin is a very big new start. This could be a financial windfall that's coming at the end of the week. It might be and because it's an ace, it might be the beginning from this. Again, if this is some kind of you accepting some kind of position, this could be some kind of fiscal kind of benefit from that. Again, if it's something within your community, maybe if it's like your communion or something, and people are giving you money as a congratulations gift, but either that, or if this is a job, it could be that that first paycheck that you see the extra, the new salary coming in. But the vibe that I'm mostly getting is that it's almost like you're feeling you're feeling like this was the right choice. You're feeling very socially accepted and you're moving forward with energy. And I think this is you just kind of solidifying this start with both money and physical. Like you're saying, okay, I've moved forward, I've taken this action, let me go ahead and prove it, let me prove that this is real, right? And you start putting you might start putting your time into it. You might start showing, because the ace is a cornerstone, it's the first, right? And so what it is it's you starting to put your money towards this new endeavor, and it's almost like you putting that first dollar or that first investment. It is also about potentially people in your community helping you, but and giving you gifts or giving you some kind of, to help you start. But I am getting a sense. The other thing is with this bird being a peacock, I'm getting more of that. I'm getting more of that vibe of you just feeling good. Like it's almost like you're shining. Like this is approved, right? It's almost like the other thing with the Hierophant, with him putting his hands up, when you see the image of the Hierophant, he's putting his hands up as if he's crossing you, like Godspeed. You're what you're doing, you feel approved, and it's making you feel very not even vindicated, but very what's the word I'm looking for? Just again, just that sense of accomplishment. But these are beginning steps, but you just feel that real glowing kind of. You feel encouraged. There we go. You just feel supported and encouraged, like you're going the right direction. Now, underneath the Ace of Coins, and this was kind of coming out close too, you got the Eight of Coins. So again, I just really feel like your community is supporting you. It could be your family or your belief, your peers, and they're just telling you like, okay, you made the right choice. We approve of this, and you feel like. So what you're doing is, by the end of the week, you're actually putting the physical action. You might be starting on the new position. But you're putting the physical and the time investment into it. And the Eight of Coins is about working hard, right? It's about, so you're going to be, at the end of the week, you're going to be starting to work hard, and it's almost like you're proving yourself. You're laying that first cornerstone, and you're ready to get to work to get this going. And you are going to be pretty busy. I think you're going to be really entrenched in this new start, but you're going to feel good about it. Again, there's something about it that's just going to feel right, like you're on the right path, and you're ready to really make something real and profitable. You feel like that whatever you're doing is really going to give you. I keep seeing this brick wall. I feel like it's going to give you stability. Now, what's interesting about your dice is that you got your first dice says advice. If this will focus, it says advice, and it's upside down. And then the other dice, it kind of came out on its side, and it says relatives. So I can kind of read this two ways. Now, the way that I kind of read it is, I think that maybe. Again, with the two being a decision, and this being over the holiday weekend, maybe this is something. What I'm the vibe I'm getting is that this is a decision that maybe you didn't want any feedback about. Like a lot of times when we're faced with kind of a heavy choice, we might consult our friends or consult our family. I think in this situation, I think you really wanted to make the decision on your own. Like you forego. You did not want to go to, anyone to get feedback. It's almost like you had to have a clear head. I think you really wanted to be in your own mindset to make this choice. Now, the other thing is that with relatives being kind of upside down, sometimes that can mean that you just either you don't want to involve your relatives, or you think that they might not be able to give you I am almost getting a sense like you would know what their opinion would be, and you don't even, it isn't that you don't want to bother asking them, it's almost as if you already know what they would say, and you really don't want those opinions to be, you don't want to be bombarded with any opinions. You really just kind of want to make this decision on your own merit. Now, the other way that I can kind of read this is, especially with relatives and advice and the Hierophant, it's quite possible that maybe you're making a decision that's going above or going in a different direction than your family. But either that, or you kind of made this decision independently, but then it's still approved. Again, I'm getting a sense of approval. I'm seriously, either that or this path has been given to you. Like the two rods are being provided by the status quo. Like, by you following the status quo and going with your tribe, this is what's giving you this choice, and this is what's allowing you to. But I am getting with the Hierophant, I am getting a sense as if this is approved, and you would almost, I keep seeing the scene of you getting knighted, almost like high honors, right? It's kind of like that. But I am seeing that the advice tile and the relatives tile are both coming back upside down. So that can really mean that you either don't want your relatives involved, or that they are not involved in giving any advice on this situation. But either way, you feel like it's the right thing to do, and you feel like there's some area of acceptance in this. Like this is going to be approved by some kind of social group, and whether that includes your family or not, it's kind of hard to say. But I would be very interested. Please tell me what you think of those two tiles. If this is resonating in another way, please let me know. But all right, guys, so that is deck number 1. That's really kind of cool energy. And I'll go ahead and put your tiles here. All right, so deck number 2. Let's go ahead, the Morgan Greer. And I love this deck. It always speaks to me. So deck number 2, what is your energy? Wow. Okay, middle of the week. Okay, end of the week, please. Okay, please clarify. Okay, and let's go ahead and we'll get 2 tiles, two dice. All right, guys, so at the beginning of the week, you got the Knight of Swords. And wow, the Knight of Swords is an animated character. And what I like about this deck is that in this deck, normally the Knight of Swords is on a horse and he's running. But in this deck, you see him holding a sword, and what it is in the background, you do see almost kind of like a tower-like image. You see kind of a building that's on fire. Now, the imagery, the interpretation that I get is in Lenormand there's a card that's called the Tower, and it means standing apart. It means being in isolation. It almost means like being up in a tower, like you're protected, right? It means being up in a tower where you're away and above. You're safe because you're isolated, right? And but here, this deck, you see that the tower is on fire, right? And the knight is on the ground, right? So I think I'm really getting a sense that at the beginning of the week, I think in the past, you've somehow stayed away from some kind of situation. The other thing that I think of when I see the regular tower, like in Lenormand, is I kind of think is like sometimes if you ever have those situations, and it can be in friendships, it can be in work, it can be in home, where it's almost like in order to protect yourself. Have you ever had those situations where it's just straight up drama, like drama-rama, and you feel like it is what it is. You can't diffuse the situation. The people involved are gonna, they're gonna stir up crap. So the only thing you can really do is kind of separate yourself and kind of take the high ground, is what I think of. You go up in your tower, and it isn't that you're trying to ignore or, not handle the situation, but sometimes it's just one of those situations where, it's going to be drama either way. There's really nothing that you can do to stop it, and the only way that you can kind of fight it is by removing yourself from it, right? But the Knight of Swords here, I kind of get the sense, with the tower being on fire and him being on the ground watching the flames, I get the feeling as if, I'm really getting the feeling as if you've joined the fray, you've joined the fight. And I don't mean that by saying, I'm not trying to say that you're part of the drama. It's not like that at all. But I think you've, there's been some kind of situation going on where you've been in your tower, you've been separate, you've been rising above, you've been saying, okay, I want nothing to do with that. I'm not a part of that. You know, like for example, say maybe you're in a friend group and two of the friends are bickering and fighting, and they're going to fight with each other. There's really nothing you can do to say about it, but you don't want to choose sides. You don't want to be a part of the conflict. So you kind of separate. You go up in your tower. Okay, I'm Switzerland. I'm neutral here, okay? You are coming out of that energy. You have come down out of the tower, you've set the tower on fire, and you are standing on the ground watching the flames. Like, okay, and again, I don't get the feeling like you're choosing sides, but I get the feeling, because the Knight of Swords talks about, he's very quick words. And the other thing is, he's wickedly smart. Like, he's observed the situation, and when he gets involved, he's got that sword. Here you've got the sword on your shoulder, right? You haven't used it yet, but I think you're done. I think you're done separating yourself from a situation. I think you're ready to state what you think about the situation, and you've got that sword on your shoulder, like you're ready to use it. So I think at the beginning of the week, and this isn't a bad energy, you do have the ability to choose someone out if you wanted to, but because the Knight is upright, I'm getting more of a sense like you have something important that you need to tell someone, right? And the other thing is that, with the Knight is a very, very big messenger. Like, he's the one who comes, he gets sent on a mission to inform. And so I do get the sense that at the beginning of the week, I am kind of getting like it's your energy. I don't think that this is anything that's coming at you, but I do think that it could be someone coming at you. It could be someone that rushes in with some really urgent message. Because the other thing about the Knight of Swords, this could be someone who rushes in to alert you to something that's going on, that almost like an emergency happening. I don't want to alarm you. I don't want you to think that an emergency is going to happen. But, you could put this in a work context. Maybe there's something that's been going on at work that you don't know about. And then all of a sudden someone's like, girl, let me tell you, I know you, but, da 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 da. And it's almost as if you're going to see, you're going to, like a ripple effect. Something has happened that's going to eventually affect you. And you're either going to have somebody running in to tell you about it, so you're aware, so you're informed, right? Either that, or something's been going on that you kind of known about in the back of your mind, and you're finally going to come out of your tower. You're going to finally stop, standing on the sidelines, and you're going to go into the fray. You're still going to be independent of the situation, but you're going to be ready to say what you think, right? You're going to say, look, I've observed this going on. I know what's going on. You're going to be ready to kind of fight. But this energy, again, because he's not on a horse running in, I almost get this as more of like a defensive kind of thing. I think there's going to be some kind of an event going on, and you have to be in the middle of it. You can't be up in your tower anymore. But you're going to be in the middle of this situation, but you're going to be ready with your words. The other thing is you're going to know A through Z what is happening with this. Like you've been observing, and I think you know more than everybody else does. And if anybody tries to drag you into it, you're going to know, you're going to be verbally ready to stand up for what you believe in, right? The other thing is that this could be someone running into you. Again, a knight is a messenger. This could be someone who has a very urgent message for you, and it's regarding some kind of situation that I really get a sense that you already know about, but is probably going to impact you in some way, so they have to kind of alert you. Now, by the middle of the week, you got the Two of Pentacles. And we talked about the Two of Pentacles. We had a tarot not too long ago. And you see how he's juggling the two responsibilities, right? And in the background, you see kind of choppy waters. I think by the middle of the week, again, with this information and with everything going on, I really get the feeling as if you're things are going to be a little bit up and down. You're probably, the energy of this, whatever this event was, is probably, it's creating waves, so to speak, and you're going to be handling it quite well. Again, I'm getting a very adaptive energy with you. The Knight of Swords is very versatile. He bobs and he weaves, like bob and weave, bob and weave. You come out with me with information, you're like, poof, poof. I don't know why I'm talking like like a boxer, but in the middle of the week, you're going to be, you remember if you watch the How to Tarot, the Two of Pentacles is, he handles things with dexterity. He's flexible, right? The other thing that I get with this is that even though there's a lot of drama going on, and this is drama, but I almost feel like you're not letting the drama get to you. Again, I'm getting a real rise above it. Like you're keeping yourself separate from the real. You're not upset about what's going on, but you are a part of it. And I really get the sense that the other thing about the Two of Pentacles is it's when I say making it a game, I don't mean that it's like funny. But what it is sometimes when you have kind of weighty responsibilities, when you can go with the flow, when you can almost enjoy the fact that you're busy, or enjoy the fact that, okay, let me handle this, okay, let me run back to this. You do have kind of an up and down kind of motion, but you are handling it. You're being very flexible. These two cards are very flexible cards. Now, by the end of the week, you got some interesting energy. You got the Page of Rods, which is the Page of Wands. And the Page of Wands is a very new energy. You're kind of going from Knight energy to Page energy. I do kind of feel like it's a good card in the fact the Pages are always a good card because it's a very innocent card. It's almost being kind of childlike. And the reason that that's such a good card is because it really means that there's no scary cards at all in tarot, but I don't see any really heavy or ugly energy with this. It's almost like you're free to be energetic about, you're free to, again, I'm getting a real playful kind of vibe. It's almost like you're staying in a very open energy. Pages are very vulnerable. They're very it's like the world is wondrous to them. It's like the world is new. And by the end of the week, I really get the sense that whatever's been going on, you're handling with a lot of grace. And by the end of the week, you almost get like kind of an exciting kind of opportunity to look forward to the future. And you're going to be starting something new that's going to feel new to you. You're almost going to feel like a novice. There's definitely something. It's almost as if by the end of the week you're going into territory that you haven't really gone into before, but you're not afraid of it. It's almost exciting. It's almost like you going in this direction is something new, and you're ready for something new, right? You're not afraid of it. It's almost exciting. to do something new and different. And when I went to clarify it, we got two cards. You got a major arcana, you got the magician. And wow, guys, the magician he's the manifester. He's the person, he has all the elements on the table, right? And underneath it, you got the Five of Cups, right? So what I think here is that this situation and the burning tower, I mean, that could very well look like the tower and the major arcana. I think by the end of the week, whatever drama I think you're keeping it real balanced and you're being real flexible. But at the end of the week, I think you're trying to get away from disappointment. That's the thing. You don't want any more disappointment. Anything that you've been doing, again, if there's anything that's been kind of bringing you down or making you feel regret, basically, I think you've just been dealing with some drama and you've been rising above the drama and you're just tired of it. You're tired of it. You're ready to just be like, okay, look, life is not about being sad, right? Life is not about looking back and being like, I never got that promotion, or, such and such did this to me, You're tired of being in that energy, right? And you're not going to allow any drama around you to keep you in that sad, crying over spilled milk energy. So what this is the root of it is that something did happen that was disappointing. There had been some drama. There'd been some petty drama. And you really managed it. You stayed away from it. If you had to engage in it, you were like, okay, you kept your verbal guard up. And now you are moving towards the Page of Wands through the Magician. The other thing that I get is that the Magician is about manifesting, in the sense that you manifest what you want, right? With your actions, with your thoughts. Energy follows thought. Whatever you dream about can become real. You just follow that you think about it, you plan, you take action, and you get it, right? And what I'm seeing here with the Magician is I'm seeing the Page of Rods is a great creator. They're very energetic and they're very enthusiastic. So I really get the sense like, I get that kind of sense like, well, I know where I've been, and wherever I'm going, I don't know where I'm going, but it's going to be better than the Five of Cups, right? It's going to be, wherever I'm going is better than the Five of Cups. I think this is also telling you at the end of the week, really embrace that optimism. My mom always says, be silly like a child. Be optimistic like a child. Dream the way that a child would. Because like you said, what do you have to lose? If you've been disappointed in the past, it's a lot easier to go towards something new or explore something new. Get excited about something that you've never done before instead of being afraid of it, because when you get excited about it, you manifest. And you can make some really big things real. And you can get whatever you want. You really can. You really can. And that's where this energy with the Magician and the Page of Rods, that's really beautiful energy. I think you're going to be real open, and the world, you're just going to think, okay, what do I have to lose, right? I'm really getting that sense. And that's going to be the energy that you'll be in at the end of the week. I think you're really looking forward to bigger and better things, and you're definitely looking to get away from, all of this balancing, all of this, having to, be disappointed or, be subjected to trauma. Now, the two dice that you got is, the first one is you got body. And you got body upside down. So what I think of when I see that is, I think of a few things. First off, I think of really taking care of your body. It is possible, especially with the Knight of Swords and the Two of Pentacles, it's very possible that you might not be getting enough sleep. Maybe you're not drinking enough water. In this time of social isolation, I know, goodness knows, I have had my fair share of bean burritos, because the good food that I want is not there. You know, the shelves have been a little picked clean when you get to the grocery stores. So if you've been in North America or in Europe, wherever you are, if you're dealing, with the pandemic still, taking care of your body and eating nurturing, eating healthy food. Sometimes when I see this, I also think of doing exercises that make you happy, like going for a walk outside is really great. The other thing that I'm thinking is that when I see this is that you also want to be kind to your body in thought, especially when I see swords and, pentacles. You want to be, you don't, in your head, sometimes you can really say negative things to yourself about the way that you look. And here, this is really telling me, it's pointing to the fact that, you know, you're kind of balancing a lot right now, so be kind to yourself. I know it's, when you're crazy busy and you're balancing things with other people, you don't have the time to, eat an all, organic diet. We can't all just take a 3-hour break to cook like a professional chef and eat all the good stuff. But it is kind of saying, please focus on that. That would be a theme this week, is try not to let yourself get too stressed. The other thing is with the Knight of Swords, that's a very fierce verbal energy. If you do start feeling a little strung out in your conversations with people, reserve the right to check out, because it really does. It has a better effect on your body to breathe. Maybe if you want to read or do some kind of activity each day that really lets you kind of manifest. Now, the other thing that you got is you got online. And so here, the thing that I see is that, and both of these tiles were right next to the rods and the magician. Maybe there's something that you can do online. It could be, especially with body, maybe it's some kind of exercise routine. I've been searching YouTube right here to do kind of like yoga stretches and just things that you can kind of do at home. The other thing is that online, maybe there's some kind of, maybe your way out of this drama situation is, looking at things online. I know everything is virtual right now. So maybe, maybe there's some kind of activity that you like to do on the computer. Maybe it's playing games. Oh my gosh, I still love playing some Tetris, some solitaire, video games. There's a really cute game called Bag It, which is about groceries. It's addictive. You'll be playing that for 3 hours if you start. But the other thing is that there could very well be a very strong opportunity to do something this future, or the thing that you're looking at might be based online. The last thing that I kind of get from it is, again, just kind of getting out of the Five of Cups mindset. Maybe you film videos online and that's your way of checking out, or just, sorry. But sorry for the background noise, guys. But either that or, maybe just watching videos. Oh my gosh, there are channels that I watch. I love dog videos. I could watch the dog videos have been what's keeping me sane this whole time. So again, be kind to your body. There might be some kind of either opportunity or something that you're doing online or something that you're watching online that's really just going to help put you into this magician energy at the end of the week. But all right, guys, so wow. That's really cool. So, on to our last deck. We got our blue stone and the Linestrider Tarot. So let's go ahead and see. What is the energies for your week? What is your energies for the week? Middle of the week, please. Oh, well, thank you. And end of the week, please. Keep getting 3 cards. Oh, wow. These 3 cards, I think, came out in the Pentacle read. All right, I'm going to go ahead and take it because I'm kind of getting a story here. This might relate to the Four of Pentacles read, the How to Tarot, because these three cards came out, I think, in the middle position of that read too. So let's go ahead and get two dice. Two dice. Okay, wow. I'm definitely getting a story here, guys. This is really interesting because all three decks, we haven't had too much love energy. Not to say that the 4th of July cannot be romantic. It can definitely be romantic, but I'm not getting too many love stories. I'm getting a lot of business and personal growth and spirituality, which is awesome. It's really awesome. But now the beginning of the week, I'll be honest, guys. And there are no bad cards in tarot. There's no such thing as a bad card. It's really about transformation, right? It's just, but the first card you got is you got the Devil, and you got the Nine of Swords. So what I'm getting here is that, and the Devil gets a bad rap. We had a tarot on it a long time ago, but the Devil is really not. It's not an evil card. What it's talking about is the Devil is talking about codependency. And the vibe I'm getting off this is a lot. I'm getting a strong. It's a card about being trapped by your codependency. It's about being reliant on something that might not be good for you. So it can be addictions. It can be feeling trapped in something that really is just making you miserable, but it's something that you committed to. And by the beginning of the week, I am really kind of getting that vibe. The Nine of Swords is really that stay up at night worrying card. It's the card that, just it's anxiety. It's really full-blown anxiety. And what it is definitely, and especially with this depiction of the Devil, you see the two people with their hands over their, it's like it is almost like that. I think of that person who's trying to sleep, right? But can't. Your mind's racing. You feel like it's kind of a ruminating energy. I feel like you're thinking a lot about some kind of obligation, some kind of codependency situation that you're in, that you're going round and round, you're going on the hamster wheel in your mind, and you can't find a solution. And I do think that this is, at the beginning of the week, it might be keeping you up a little bit at night. The other thing is that with the fox is a very shrewd animal. It's very self-sufficient, right? And it isn't that the fox doesn't think about other people. It's just they definitely make sure that their needs are met, right? And at the beginning of the week, and especially with the Nine of Swords, I really get the feeling as if it's possible that you might have gotten into some kind of commitment, and right now you don't want to have this obligation anymore. You're feeling really tied down and trapped by this obligation, but you can't walk away, right? The thing about the fox is that he's very cunning, right? He thinks he's very strategic, and it's interesting. It's like I'm really getting a feeling as if this situation did involve something that served you, and it's like you can't just up and walk away from it. You have an obligation to it. You see how the two people are tied to one another, right? Now, it could be a relationship, it could be some kind of other obligation, but it's definitely keeping you up at night. And the other thing is that you can't figure a way out of it. No matter what you think of, you come right back to the same place of feeling like you feel like you're never going to get out of this, right? So at the beginning of the week, I really want you to take care of yourself. Really, in at the end of the middle deck, we talked about, ways to kind of check your mind out, because this type of rumination is very hard on you, especially if it's affecting your sleep. The other thing is that anytime you feel this the thing about the Devil is it does make you feel a little bit tortured, because you feel like there's nothing you can do about it, right? You can't get out. There is a poem called The Starling. There's a poem called The Starling. I'm putting on the writer, the English major hat now. And it says, quote, "The starling I can't get out." I keep hearing the phrases from that poem. But what I would do is that whenever you find yourself going in circles like that, you really need to break the broken record. You have to get out of that. So if you feel like you're going in circles trying to find a solution, either step away from the thoughts completely, like maybe really check out and do something else. Either that, or if this is something that's financial, I always say, my mom has always taught me, whenever you feel like something's financially bogging you down, get a plan. Get a plan. Say, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to pay this amount every month, and it may seem minimal, and you might still feel that trapped, like, okay, I'll never get out of this. But whenever you make a plan, and no matter how small, that empowers you, right? Devil is disempowerment energy. You want to do something that empowers you, and that doesn't have to be something big. It can be something very, very small. Any little action that takes you one little step closer to freedom or closer to independence, thinking about that action rather than going in circles about how you're stuck, is, you want to go with the positive. Because the other thing that I see is that I think that you're going to be stuck in a circle of a little bit of kind of gloomy energy, and I think it's kind of in your own mind. Not to say that this isn't true, what's happening, but I just see that you're causing yourself a lot of anguish, and especially if this is causing you to not sleep or rest. Now, the middle of the week, you got some great energy. So I do think that this anxiety is just isolated to the beginning of the week. And again, in the beginning of the week, please take good care of yourself. The Monday, Tuesday blues. Try to take some breaks and do some things to not sit in that energy all the time. But the middle of the week, at the top card, you got strength. You got 3 major arcanas in the middle of the week, guys. Gosh. So at the top, you got strength. You got the sun, which is the happiest card in the whole deck. And you got death. And what I'm seeing here, guys, and so many people would be afraid of getting devil and death in the same read. Death is just transformation, right? You see the outside of the skull is all dark, but in the inside it's all colorful and creative and glowing. I think by the middle of the week, you're going to feel some kind of transformation. Like, I do think that you're going to be stepping away from this energy and really trying to break free. And I think you're going to break free by doing something that's different. You know how they always say that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result? I think by the middle of the week, you're tired of you're stop the insanity, right? You're no longer doing the 9 of Swords hustle. You're going to be breaking, and I think what you're going to do is you're going to say, okay, the solution to my problem, the way that I get out of the devil energy, is by doing something dramatically different. I'm not going to do the same thing over and over again, because that's getting me nowhere. So in the middle of the week, I think you're going to change your approach. You're going to do something different. And when you do something different, it's going to feel like you're going to feel like a different person. I really feel like this situation is going to have some kind of major breakthrough in the middle of the week. Now, the other thing, and just to put it out there, this transformation, this death, goes straight into the sun, and then it's followed by strength. So what that tells me is that it is quite possible that you might be breaking away from the source of what you feel is holding you back. This could be a person, it could be a situation, but you are going in, there is going to be a death of that. There's going to be some kind of ending, and it's going to be a pretty serious one. And it's but the thing about death, and we've even said it, is that it's not a sudden energy. It's not like an axe that's falling, right? It's not a guillotine. Death is something that's been decaying over time, right? It's a natural, um, it's a natural death, right? It's a natural decaying of something that needs to go away, right? It's a letting go of something. And what it is I do think in the middle of the week you're going to have some kind of letting go of this, and it's going to feel real liberating, guys. You're going to feel like 1,000,000 tons have been taken, like 1,000,000 tons have been taken off your back. Like you're going to feel like a weight has lifted, and you're going to feel freedom. That's the other thing about the sun, is that not only is it going to make you feel good about yourself, that you let this go, or that you initiated an ending for this, but you are going to have moments of just feeling really kind of free. The Rider-Waite-Smith shows that child riding on the back of a horse out in the sunshine, right? And a sunflower is about having good self-esteem. So I do think that whatever you might have to initiate some kind of breakup or break off of energy. This could very well just be something that's around you that's not making you happy, and you finally just say, please, I can't do this anymore. This is done. And it does, by making that decision, it's ending something that needed to end, but you're going to feel real good about it. It's going to feel like the right choice, and you are going to have that moment of sunshine. You're going to have that moment of being like, okay, whew, that feels good. But the fact that it culminates with the Strength card is that this energy doesn't go away very easily. This could be a breakup of a situation, like a relationship. It could be a financial relationship, but what I'm seeing is that you're going to make the necessary choice to end it. You're going to feel good about that decision, or there's going to be something liberating about it. The other thing is that maybe the other party ends it with you. That's possible too. But either way, you're still going to feel good about this happening. It's going to feel transformative. You're going to feel like a new person. And the other thing is that this experience is really, those type of experiences really, they teach you, right? It's kind of those hard lessons. But the thing that I'm seeing is that even after you feel good, even after you have that moment of relief and feeling kind of good about it, you are going to have to stay strong. The other thing that it can be is that because this situation can feel a little bit like an addiction, right? That's the other definition of the devil. You really want to go back to it. You feel like, but it's that thing you can't resist, but it's that thing that holds you down. It doesn't serve you. It just ties you up and leaves you in a bad energy. So I do think that, you're going to be making changes and transforming, but you really have to stay strong with that choice. You have to stay strong to not give in to this, to not go back into that energy of feeling trapped. So I know that doesn't, I'm trying to make sense of it. If it is a relationship, you have to, not get sucked back into it. If it's some kind of partnership or some kind of financial obligation, you have to make sure you don't, end up, getting pulled back down. It can be an addiction. This could be a sign of you quitting something. Maybe I love coffee. Sometimes if you quit coffee, maybe it's having a bad health effect. Maybe you have to give up steak because it's bad for your heart, but it feels so good. You're going to feel good about it at first, but then you really have to stay strong. You have to keep with it to make sure you don't go back into that energy. And that's where you're going to be at the middle of the week. You're going to know what you need to do, and you're going to feel really lighter. You are going to have moments of real happiness with it, but it's almost like you have to stay strong. You have to keep your willpower in place to not get sucked back in by the devil. Now, this is interesting, is that by the end of the week, we have 2 kings and we have the 9 of Pentacles. And we also have an Ace of Cups here. So I really get the feeling, you know what, I'm almost getting a vibe as if this is some kind of financial situation. It's some kind of financial situation that's really been making you miserable. And something's going to happen midweek that really kind of, it turns the tables. And I'm not seeing any win-lose energy here. I don't think, if this does involve another person, I think letting this end is a mutual decision, I think. But by the end of the week, you and another person, so the King of Pentacles is that real money, practical person. And you see in this deck, he's an owl. So it's maybe someone real wise with money. And then King of Cups, which is a real, he's an emotionally smart person. He's someone who's very, he doesn't let his emotions get the better of him. And his life experiences really have given him a wisdom, an understanding. He has a very big heart, but he doesn't, he knows his own emotions. He knows the right emotional choices to make in his own life. And the 9 of Pentacles is that real independent card. It's someone who is self-sufficient, who doesn't need anyone else. And you actually see that there's an owl there too, right? There's another owl. So the other thing is that you have the Ace of Cups, which is like a great, I feel like this is a real emotional, it's an emotional beginning. It's something that would really make you happy. So what I'm seeing here is, it's kind of, I can kind of read it 2 ways. Maybe you were in some kind of agreement with someone and it really wasn't making either of you happy, and it was keeping you up at night, like, okay, what do I do? What do I do? You finally made a decision to, something about this agreement changed. It either ended or there was some kind of change that transformed it. And it felt like the right thing to do, and you have to stay real strong to your decision. And by the end of the week, I'm really getting a sense, I'm not getting so much of a love vibe from this, but I'm almost getting the feeling as if whatever this situation is, the 2 parties are the 2, because earth and water are very compatible, right? The 2 kings, it's almost like both of you, both you, and you could decide if you're the King of Pentacles or you're the King of Cups, but both are very mature figures, and I feel like at the end of the week, it's almost like this decision is going to be the right thing to do, and both of you walk away feeling very, very self-sufficient, right? So it could be, this could be a settlement of something where, okay, instead of us wrestling with this together, let's go ahead and, let it end, let it liquidate. You get your half of it, I'll get my half of it, and then both of you are independent alone, right? You both go each way, the situation is handled. And the Ace of Cups is just, it's like that exciting new emotional start. You feel inside, you feel like good, like, you just feel like you have a chance to be emotionally happy after, all of that obligation. It feels like a good way to begin again. Now, the other way that I kind of read this is that if this is your energy, I just really get the sense that by ending this, moving forward, you are going to be a lot wiser about your money, and you're going to be a lot wiser about your emotions. Like you're going to feel like you learned a lot from this situation. But definitely by the end of the week, you want to kind of be on your own 2 feet. You don't want to. I'm getting a real strong vibe that after everything that you've been through, you probably don't want to be in a partnership right away. It's almost as if you want to spend some time just kind of filling your own cup. That's the other thing that I'm getting, is that it's almost as if you want to go off and kind of do your own thing for a while, and avoid, that kind of situation and just enjoy being, independent. But if you are one of these kings and there's another person who's the other king, I do think that it's going to be equal. Both of you will walk away from the table without any hard feelings, and it would really, give a sense of self-sufficiency to both people. The other thing that I'm kind of seeing is that because these are 2 cup cards and these are 2 earth cards, it's almost as if the King of Pentacles will go off and be, financially independent, and the King of Cups will go off and be emotionally, is going to go off and find their emotional fulfillment. And either way, both parties are okay. They both have really good outcomes. Now, your 2 dice is, this is interesting. You got the word inherit, like almost like inherit money, but it's upside down. And then you also got the word buy, like bye-bye, but it's also upside down. So what I am kind of getting here is that, again, with the fact we're talking about, kind of endings and new beginnings, and we've got the sun and the cup, and you've got 2 people, this could be like involving some kind of inheritance. But the fact that these 2 are in the reverse, the 2 tiles are in reverse, what this might be is that maybe in the beginning of the week you're really worried about some kind of inheritance or something, some kind of obligation that you have. But by the middle of the week, there's going to be a solution. There's going to be something that presents itself that does allow for freedom. It allows for you to let go of this obligation. What I'm kind of seeing from the tiles being reversed is that maybe this is all verbal right now. Like you have a solution, and it's like, yay, it's like the sun coming out, because that's the other thing, the sun coming out from behind the clouds. It's going to feel real good, like, okay, we can take this action, and by the end of the week, you could be, the other thing is that you could be verbally making plans. Like you can say, okay, once this is ended, because the other thing is, I'm getting a strong sense death is very slow. It's not sudden. So this could be you communicating with the other person about how to get out of the obligation, how to mutually kind of, transition. The transition hasn't happened yet. And maybe it does involve some kind of inheritance. And again, bye, like goodbye. You're planning your exit, but it is mutually agreed upon, it's mutually beneficial, and it's just making you kind of excited for the future, because you'll no longer be in that stuck, trapped, anxiety-filled kind of energy. But I do think at the end of the week, I am getting a sense like these are 2 different people. And I think that, you might be having a conversation or some kind of meeting with someone talking about these themes. But, definitely take care of yourself in the beginning of the week. I think by the middle of the week, you do have the sun, and the sun is the happiest card. The sun really trumps everything around it. It shines brighter than everything around it. So even though you are going through like a transformation and you have to be real strong, it's almost like you have to stick it out. I am feeling like you have to stick out this situation. You have the strength to do it. The other thing is that these are 2 Leo cards. So this might involve a Leo person. But, and there is a woman here too. So But either way, guys, I do see it as a good week. I see it as a very good week. So don't let those cards in the beginning, scare you. That's just going to be a temporary energy. And if you really want to, prepare for it, just be ready in the beginning of the week to give yourself a lot of good self-talk. And maybe have some games or things that you can check out mentally with, in order to keep your mind from getting too tied up in worry. All right, guys. So wow, that was a really good read. That was interesting. I love these dice. They're always fun to pull out. I pull them out for myself quite a lot. But I thank you for joining me today. If you're in North America, I hope you have a wonderful 4th of July. Please have fun, but be safe. If you'd like to join me back on Tuesday, I do a second read. It's what I call the How to Tarot. And the beginning of the video, we talk about the meaning of the card, but the second half of the video is another read that's based on that card. So if you ever want to skip straight to your reading, you can check it out. It's almost like getting two reads in 1 week. And this Tuesday, we're doing the very misunderstood but very influential card. We're talking about the 5 of Pentacles. So I hope you can join me then, and I'll catch you later. Bye.